video that I've been dreading to make. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been enjoying your summer. As you can tell from my tone, I don't have awesome news right now because my car is giving me a bunch of problems. My car has been giving me a bunch of problems. So what I want this video to be is essentially a update on my ownership experience with the brand new 2018 B9 Audi S4 and just the B9 platform in general, at least in the United States. So I made a couple videos, what I love about my brand new Audi S4, one that says what I hate about my Audi S4. It's just like quirks and features about the car itself that are personal opinions, things like that. Basically, day one of picking this car up, I've had constant issues with the car. Now, most of them have been resolved with warranty work. However, I have still had a large number of issues with the car. So I'm gonna go through the entire list of all the problems I've had with the car. I want this video strictly to be about problems and issues I've had with the car, whether they've been issues that have been resolved and fixed, or issues that are still ongoing and they haven't been fixed, cannot be fixed, etc. Potential buyers out there, or leasers, whatever you will, of this new B9 platform, what are the potential? Now, I'm not saying every single S4 owner has these problems, will have these problems, but this is a possibility, a potential that, you know, some of the cars are flawed, and so you can live through my experiences. I'm gonna try and find a spot real quick, and then we'll switch over to an exterior shot with the camera, and we'll get to talking. All right, see y'all soon. All right, so we got to a fairly decent secluded area, and so there's my car, 2018 Audi S4. Get some shots here on the side. So 2018 Audi S4, Daytona Gray Pearl Premium Plus, has the dynamic package and the navigation package. So basically has the sports rear differential and the red brake calipers. It has nothing to do with the brake pads themselves. They're literally just the instead of having, I think it's like silverish black or black, something like that, the calipers are just literally painted red. The brakes themselves, there's no upgrades or change, but the rear sport diff that gets added on as well. And then with the navigation package, you have the virtual cockpit, and I'll put some clips here and there. You have the virtual cockpit, you have obviously the navigation and all that jazz that comes with the car. Love the look of the car. I mean, just looking at it right now, it's, if you were to see it parked in the lot, you think, oh wow, what a beautiful car, perfect Audi, amazing German engineering. But hidden underneath, you wouldn't even realize the issues and problems that the owner, myself, actually have with the car. So, all right, so I'm gonna try and do this outside. Sorry for the wind. I have the mic set to kind of avoid as much wind noise as possible. So I'll try and do some footage inside as well as outside, but I really wanted to kind of talk with you all outside around the car. All right, so I hope you all hear me with the wind noise and everything. I have the mic set to kind of reduce any wind noise pickup, so I'll do my best here. All right, so ever since picking up this car, brand new in November of 2017, I've had nothing but problems with the car. So let's start with the first problem. In the first month to 2 months, I had numerous creaking, rattling, vibrating, you name it, noises coming from the cabin. So I took it to my local Audi dealership, had them take a look into it, and they found they found all the issues, but it was a good amount of issues. So the first thing I had, anytime I accelerated or decelerated in the passenger side, front passenger side door well, inside the door, so it's just like within the door panels and everything, there was something that was rolling and rattling inside the door. So tech basically found was that there was some loose plastic inside the door panels, and the odd thing is the tech said that piece of plastic doesn't even belong inside the door panels. Like, it has nothing to do with the car. It shouldn't have even come with the car. It doesn't attach anywhere. Nothing was broken. It was just an additional piece of plastic that was inside the door panels. They removed that. That problem was solved, fixed, you know, no problem whatsoever after that with regarding that issue. Cool. In that same visit, I had another rattling coming from the rear of the car, and apparently there was a service bulletin provided by Audi that essentially something was up with the headliner plastic component, or a component that was breaking or not attaching properly, and I'm not really sure what they replaced. All I know is they did something with the headliner in the rear passenger side, or rear in general. They didn't really specify in the documentation that they provided, and whatever it is that they did, that fixed that problem. That was the most annoying knocking, creaking sound that I've had with the car, as far as interior rattles and cabin noises and things like that. That happened no matter what I did. If I hit a bump, if I hit a little pebble on the road, if I accelerated, decelerated, took a turn, you name it, it just kept tapping, tapping, tapping. Even if it was on a smooth surface road, it was such an annoying sound. So, you know, something in a luxury car like this, for this price point, you shouldn't really be having noises like that. So ever since I took it for that service bulletin and they addressed that situation, I have not had a problem with that since. It's been at least 3,000 miles or so since then, so no problems with that. So I'm really happy that that got resolved. But again, there's another issue that the car came with, so some quality related issue.
A few moments later.
A few months after that, I had a new rattling sound coming from inside the car, and this was more towards the driver's side B-pillar area, and it would really happen sporadically, like anytime if I hit a bump, sometimes when I didn't hit a bump, or, you know, if I accelerated, or if I slowed down, if I took a turn. It would happen at random times, but it would happen fairly frequently. And what this was, when I took it into Audi, I had to schedule another service appointment. Took the car in. They had the car for about a week, I would say, and the problem was the entire driver's side B-pillar, the plastic covering on the inside, there was broken pieces on the inside. Some of the plastic components was just broken, so they had to replace that entire plastic covering on the inside of the B-pillar, where the belt buckle area is, essentially. So we had to wait for the parts to arrive, had to wait for them to install that part, and, you know, again, like a week or so went by. Picked up the car, that problem was resolved. As far as I can tell, to this day, I think that problem is 100% gone. I do hear some like rattles and creaks, but I think that's just due with the belt buckle itself kind of tapping against the door. But definitely doesn't happen as frequently as it did prior to me bringing it in for the warranty work. Another problem I had around that same time was front passenger side window wouldn't retract all the way. To get close to it being fully retracted, it would make a weird rattling noise, or a creaking noise, I think is the best way to explain it. And it almost sounded like it would get to the bottom and then it would slip, like every second or so it would slip, and until it finally gripped to whatever was holding the window in place, would finally hold it. So it just was really annoying. And then not only that, it didn't retract all the way. The techs look at it, they said they couldn't find anything wrong with the window. All they did was lube it up. But immediately I was able to, again, when I picked it up, and this was about like 2 days after I dropped it off, I was immediately having the same issues. It wasn't retracting. I said, you know what, whatever, I guess I could live with it. It's not really causing serious issues. After that, it was 4 months ago. So it was actually towards the end of May and the beginning of June of 2018, I started hearing this clunking sound coming from the front end of the car. It was a really bad clunking. It didn't sound like it was coming from inside the cabin, or it was just a noise issue. It actually sounded like some sort of suspension issue, or like creaking, clunking. Anytime I would hit a bump or go up a slope, you'd hear this very ugly clunking noise. Anytime I turned the steering wheel, Even when I was in place, it made the clunking and clicking sound. The first few thousand miles, no problems whatsoever. I had no issues with actual mechanical components. So it, started to make me nervous. Again, this was about 3,000 miles, brand new car. I took the car into service towards the end of May and had them take a look at it. They had the car for about a week. They looked at the car. They said they couldn't find anything wrong with the car. So I picked up the car a week later. As soon as I left the garage of the service, the service center, I was able to hear the sound. So I'm like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Maybe it's something to do with the weather. So I took the car home that night. I said, okay, whatever, it is what it is. I drove the car for the next couple days, and it was still making the sound. And I'm starting to get worried now. I'm like, I hear this sound. This is not normal. It wasn't making this when I first got the car. None of the cars I test drove prior to getting the car made the sound. So there's no way this is normal. There's no way this is a legitimate sound. People on the forums and that said their cars were perfect, they were saying my car doesn't make a clunking sound from the front end. So there's definitely something wrong with the car. So I scheduled another service appointment 2 weeks out. Brought my car in, I think it was like the second week of June. Dropped the car off, and at this point, what happened was the car was there for a day, and the tech said they couldn't replicate the issue again, and they wanted me to come down, sit with them, and drive the car and basically replicate the noise. So I had to take time off my work to come all the way down there. I work in Boston, I work in the city, and the dealer is at least an hour out from the city. So by the time I get off work, get to my car, able to go see the dealer, it's a couple hours. So it's really out of my way. Instantly able to replicate the issue, and the tech said, oh wow, yeah, I can definitely hear it. I hear it. I'm like, I'm not even doing anything special to make the sound happen, so you guys must have just not wanted to deal with it. Dropped my car off, they gave me a loaner, cool. The car was there for 2 weeks. Issue was related to the suspension, and it had something to do with the front control arm, the driver's side control arm. So they replaced the front control arm, and they said, okay, so they replaced the front control arm, and they did something with my driver's side, the front driver's side brake. They said that the car is good to go, the techs don't hear any sounds, they don't hear the clunking sound, and the car is fixed. I said, okay, great. I went in to go pick up my car later in the evening after work. As soon as I pick up my car, as soon as I get in the car, I put the car in drive, and I start rolling out. I hit the accelerator, like not even flooring, just trying to leave the service garage. It was instantly making the clunking noise, and this time worse than it was ever before. Okay, it was like making it like unbelievably like ridiculous clunking noises, accelerate, brake, again the whole spiel, but it was making the sound was even louder than it was before. I had to come the next morning and come sit with the shop foreman and replicate the issue to show that the sound is actually still there, basically telling me that they don't believe me and you need to prove that the car is making a sound. Come in the next morning, sit with the shop foreman. He's like, yeah, I hear it. I definitely hear it. The third time I'm dropping the car off at this point for the same issue. 2.5 weeks later, I get a call from the service advisor saying the car is fixed. The clunking has been resolved. The foreman was able to figure it out and fix it. I asked what the issue was. They said it was due to a bad ball joint. Came in that evening, picked up the car. Again, the sound was happening. I was able to hear the sound. Again, it was just as loud. Problems was happening with effortlessly again. And so I rolled right back around, brought the car in, and service advisor's first response to me was, I think it's time that you return the car and basically replace the car. This is coming from the foreman. You need to drive the car. You need to break the car in. The car's been sitting here for a couple of weeks and the parts get tight. Since the last time I picked the car and they did work on the brake, at highway speeds, when I start using the brakes, there's this weird shudder. Shop foreman, service manager come, they talk to me, they approach to me, and they basically say, oh, you're still hearing the sound. Oh, can you please replicate it? I said, sure thing. Sat in the car, service manager is sitting in the passenger seat, and the shop foreman is sitting right behind me. going around their dealership lot, effortlessly I'm able to make a sound. Service manager is telling me I don't hear the sound, I don't hear the sound, I can't hear the sound, and all this time I hear it. You know, it's happening very loudly. Here's the odd part. So the service manager is telling me that they don't hear a sound. However, the shop foreman is telling me, in his words, I'm going to be honest with you, I do hear the sound. Shop foreman hears it, the service manager doesn't hear it. So I'm like, all right, so what do I do at this point? So I pull the car around, the shop foreman leaves at this point. The service manager says, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have the shop foreman, he's gonna test drive a bunch of stock S4s and S5s and, you know, all, you know, this new platform. He's going to drive a bunch of them, a bunch of different versions, and see if he can replicate the issue, or if it's a normal issue, which I already know for a fact it's not. What they're going to do is they're also in the meantime going to contact some Audi rep who has more experience, more knowledge with these cars, and can, you know, better assist with this situation. All this, you know, talking and complaining that I'm doing is basically, I just want to show you guys. So this problem hasn't been resolved, okay? Still have this problem. This is the fourth time I took the car. That time, you know, meeting with the service manager and the shop foreman, this was a week ago. It's still on, you know, it's still having the problem, so the car is still making the noise. I'll try to put a sound clip here of what I have caught on footage, the actual clunking sound, so you can actually hear what the sound is. Since November 2017, I've had nothing but problems with the car, most of which have been fixed under warranty. You know, that's great and everything, but there have been all these problems with the car, you know, and what I'm afraid of is that the car has 4,800 miles, less than a year old. I mean, and we have this severe clunking issue, and now I have a problem with the brake. What else could go wrong? I mean, is anything else going to happen? I'm not saying you will have these problems, but it is a possibility. There's potential that you could end up getting a faulty car. But anyways, I will keep everybody updated and informed of my situation. Stick around. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this was informative. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, like the video. Follow me on Instagram. I post a bunch of car stuff on there, pictures, events, things like that. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.
Whatever you do,